here, keeping it coy. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome, and I hope to earn your subscription today. In today's video, retreating for flukes, but I'm going to show you, obviously everyone knows how to do a fluke treatment. Measure the dose, pop it in the pond, keep your air on, jobs are good. But before I treat for the second dose of flukes, I'm going to do a Prep PP treatment, just to help remove some of the mucus layer off the fish. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Bear in mind, it is how I do it. I would always recommend that you seek professional advice before using PP, because if you get it wrong, it can be fatal to the fish, but if you get it right, it works brilliantly. So I'm going to show you how I do that, and go from there. All right, let's take you outside and show you what I've been up to. Hey guys, so yeah, I've just chucked them in some food because it's going to be the last bit they get for a couple of days, because we're about to do the second dose of Fluke S, sorry, tomorrow. The pond's been quite stable at around 15 degrees for the last few days, so we'll get that in. But before I do the second dose this time around, I am going to do a very small PP dose. So in some hot water, I've got my PP bubbling away in there. So that's all mixed up, just waiting for it to cool down a bit. So I thought, while that's cooling down, I'll chuck them their last meal for a few days. But yeah, I've got 4 airlines going in there now, as you can see. I've got 2 of them under there, and then 2 of them sit round this sort of area. One of them I've pinched to go in the watering can, and the other one's currently under there at the minute. Don't know whether you'll be able to see it. No, just out of sight. But yeah, plenty of oxygen going in there. That should be all hunky dory. I'll snap back to you in a bizzle when we're putting the PP in. Yeah, so we're almost ready to pour the PP in. It's still a bit warm, but it's cooling down. I just thought I'd show you guys, because I know obviously koi treatments are extremely expensive. This is what I've always used, works every time. Potassium permanganate, obviously, at 99.9%. Pretty much exactly the same that you would get as PP in powdered form, except for buying it this way. Ooh, fish munching their pellets. Buying it this way, you're not paying koi tax. So I think I got this one on eBay. Can't remember how much it was in it. It doesn't actually say on the packet. But compared to the PP you buy from a koi shop, it was next to nothing. I think I paid about 10 quid for this packet, and it's treated my ponds loads of times. But yeah, so just a heads up, potassium permanganate is just potassium permanganate, as long as you get it in its purest form. I measure it out the same as what you would get on a koi packet, which I think is about 6.9 grams or something like that, 6.9 or 6.4, I don't know. Got it written down inside, per 4,700 and something litres, because it's per 1,000 gallons. And then because of, just to be on the safe side, I just add it in stages and just keep the water purple for up to 4 hours, as you would normally do. So I'll tip probably half of that watering can in here, because I've not put the 6 grams in there. I've only put the about 3 grams in there, because this is only 2,000 litres in here. So I know 3 grams is still going to be slightly too much, but I'm not going to tip it all in one go anyway. Just as long as it stays purple, and just add it in stages. So yeah, just a little tip, guys. But potassium permanganate, whether it's got a picture of a koi on or a picture of a Yoda, is still potassium permanganate. It's a chemical which takes the nasties out of the water and does the same thing to your fish, and that's never ever harmed any of my fish ever. So a couple of quid saved is a couple of quid saved. Right, catch you in a bizzle when I'm pouring it in. Right, that's half of it in. just about make out a fishy down there, as you can see, nice and purple. Probably make it out better in the bubbles. Nice and purple in there, spilt a bit on there. Always pour it in there on where the water returns. But yeah, filters have all been cleaned. Oh, one thing I didn't do actually, let's quickly divert the water from there into the shower so we don't overflow. I've got a small bag of carbon in here, and we don't want that in with PP, so we'll remove the carbon, and it's overflowing anyway. Open it fully. Okay. Yeah. If anyone wants to see another rundown on how this little filter works, it's absolutely brilliant, other than the fact that if you don't turn your pump off when you open it, it does overflow. Or you can just close the valve on there, which I do sometimes, but it's typical. Now it's overflowing, I can't get the lid back on. Push that down a second. Made a right mess of that, didn't I? Oh well, that's what you get for doing things one-handed. There we go. Close that one back off. Yeah, so that's actually the waste pipe, but I just have it leaning in there, so if I do need to open that up, normally I can just open this valve, which diverts most of the water then that way. And just the pump that's on this is 4,000 litres, and I don't think gravity 4,000 litres can go through a 1-inch pipe quick enough. But yeah, it does the job. Everything else all back open. Yeah. So yeah, I just take the bag of carbon out of there for now. Give that a clean while it's out. There we go, that's given that a bit of a clean. But yeah, the way this this filter works, great little filter. Obviously your water comes in through there, past your UV, which is currently off because that one's got a UV in and that one's currently on. And it comes up this side through an upflow filter, which is full of K1 or K1 micro, so it goes through all that, and then back over the weir, and then back down the trickle filter back of your shower thing, and then gravity returns from that pipe currently into there. Obviously that was going to be a back of the shower with all that, but I didn't want to balance that thing like up here somewhere and then have it obviously gravity fed. But it, as you can see by the quality of the water before I put the PP in, it keeps the pond nice and clean anyway. And yeah, we're still all purple in there, good. And as you can see, I've still got half a watering can full, look. And now I just keep an eye on them for a couple of hours. Just about see them all down there. Look. And if it starts to go brown, I just put in another sglug and just keep it all purple. If I don't end up using it all, tip it away. Tip it in somewhere in the garden where there's no plants. Job done, and preferably not on any path or gravel because it dyes the gravel pink. Learned that the hard way. Not forever. It does obviously turn back into its normal colour, but yeah, don't pour it on your gravel or your grass, because it can kill your grass. But if you've got a border with not a lot in it, that's where I normally chuck it. But yeah, that's that done, and then tomorrow I'll be able to get the Fluke the Fluke S in. I might even, as I did Fluke S on the last dose, I might do the Fluke M on this one. Then again, if it stays up above 15 degrees, I could just chuck in some Learnex Pro. But yeah, they don't seem to be too bothered. Still swimming around, still munching. But yeah, when that food's gone, it's gone. It won't last very long. As soon as I bugger off, they'll munch it in seconds. So I'm going to let them finish their dinner before the PP starts taking a bit of an effect on them. So as you can see, the back of your shower is back up and running, as the temperatures are staying quite stable at the minute. Obviously these guys have been through their heat ramp. and are now just sitting around 16 degrees. But as the blue pond over the garden there has been held at 15 degrees for the last few days, I thought I would get the backy shower up and running for the summer. We did have a bit of a disaster the other night. You may notice on the front of there is a big old bulge of silicone, because if anyone followed my video when I set this up, they're not solvent welded in at the minute like they generally should be, and that is because obviously the pump's not staying permanently there. It's not staying permanently with this filtration system or this pond or this shower, so I didn't want to glue anything in place and then find out I want to change what I've done with it, because if I'd have glued the what do you call them, hose tail connectors in with solvent weld, then I'd have to replace the unions and everything to change it in a month or so when the pond's finished and this fat disappears. So I didn't want to do that, but you'll see in this bucket, last night I was sitting in there, because I set the backy shower up yesterday, sitting in there in the evening watching some telly, and all of a sudden heard this very strange thud. I thought, well, that definitely came from the pergola. So jumped up, opened the window there, and thought, well, I can hear water running but it doesn't sound normal. So I come flying out here, turned the floodlight on so I could see what I'm doing, and these, not that these solar ones are that great, them floodlights, solar wires, fantastic. These little switchy lights in here are rubbish. Anyway, come running out, switched the light on and realised this pipe, the whole thing, had popped out of there, and that's what the thud was. The pipe had obviously hit the floor, and by the time I got out here, nearly half of the pond was empty, because the pump I've got in there at the minute, the J-Cod Eco, one of the most economical pumps I could find at the time, and 8,000 litres an hour. This pond only holds 1,000 litres when it's like full to the brim. So yeah, that was quite good that I actually heard it, otherwise I could have had some serious problems this morning. Fishes are all popping up, look, munching their food. They've just been fed as well. They're all happy as Larry in there, they don't care. But yeah, the reason I've come out here to talk to you is at the minute that I've wedged the pipe behind this big fence post and put a clamp there so the pipe can't come up any higher, and you can't actually pull the pipe this way either because it's lent on the pipe. But the old shower's still working well. It's not perfectly level, as you can probably tell. Most of the water's sort of flowing out that way, but it's doing a trick. It's full of Alpha Grog, and there's some Biohome Ultimate in there, and there's some lava rock, I think, and a bag of oyster shells as well. But yeah, I do have one more small tier kicking about, which I'm actually going to use as the top tier when I've get it, because I'm going to be using that temporarily there until I can afford a nice looking proper one. But yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm not going to use the expensive Oasis stuff. I picked up some of this from the Not Cuts Garden Centre the other day, reduced half price. So every time I do a big water change, this is what I've been putting in, just to keep everything ticking over. So get a glug of that in this one, as I didn't do it last night because I couldn't see what I was doing. Have a little fry. So yeah, get this in and snap back to you in a bizzle. Yeah, so by adding a bit of this in, obviously because they had literally a 50% water change yesterday, and obviously I've only kick-started the shower for the first time yesterday as well. Obviously the bio in there won't be very good yet. I mean, it will be dragging bio or bacteria, should I say, sorry, out of there and putting it in the shower, but whack in a bit of that and that will help kick-start everything even more. I wasn't even going to put the shower up yet, to be honest, but because the fry in here are growing very well still, as you can see. Got a few more in there now that's about 4 or 5 inches. Not 4 or 5 inches, sorry, 3 or 4 inches. There's a couple more basically that I could move out here now. Because the bigger obviously these guys get, the less the fish tank can handle it. But to be honest, the water tests on this has actually been really good ever since I did use the BioKick Premium. Got pretty much zero everything, just a trace of nitrate, but the nitrite and the ammonia has been zero ever since I stuck that in, so that's a bonus. Not too sure what this one is. Looks almost like a lemon hawaki. It's sort of all patchy yellow. Really like it though. Their colours are so changing at the minute. I mean, when I got them, I didn't have any that was fully one colour, and now I've got this orange one here, or orangey yellow. I think I've got a Makashi in there as well. Weren't sure what he was going to... Not Makashi, although there are some Makashis in here, but the one at the back there, look, I think that's might be an Akamatsuba. I'm sure Vince will tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the one that's now bright, fully orange, this fella here, he was white when I got him. So yeah, not too sure what he's going to be. The Orchibas are now starting to develop some patterns and colours. Got me Jinrins. Still not too sure if they are Chags or Chibas. I mean, that one certainly looks Chag. If he turns around the other side, the scale pattern on the other side of him is very strange. It almost looks like he's knocked himself, because it's just a random patch in the middle of his body. Turn the other way. Did you see that then? He's not playing ball, but yeah, when he's big enough to move out into the other tank, I'll give you a close up and a look, because he's not playing ball today. But yeah, he's Jinrin scales. He's got, there you go, look, almost like a circle shape on his body, sort of like a Deutz one would be, I suppose, but he's not. He's fully scaled. There you go. That was a good shot. I'll see if I can get a screenshot of that and put it in the video. But yeah, got some real nice ones in here now. Obviously my favourite one is outside in the other pond, but some of these, especially this one that's all patterned yellow, got a couple like that now. But yeah, I'm not fantastic with the names, but I'm learning. This little fella here, bless him, he's got a funny shaped head. I don't think he's deformed, he's just got a funny shaped head. It's almost like he's looking up. I suppose you would class that as a deformity really, but I've seen a lot worse. But yeah, these are all happy and healthy. Got another one that's gone fully orange, this little fella. But he's also on the other side of him got a little couple of black spots, look. Very strange. But yeah, every day they get a little bit bigger and every day they change a bit more. But yeah, got some lovely metallic fish in there as well. Here's me little Chag, but he's got a few black spots on him as well, so he might change. If he's a Charatsuri, he's staying with me. He's becoming quite friendly. They've all settled down now since I took the most friendliest one out of here, and they're now becoming a bit more friendly themselves, so that's a bonus. And although they have had loads of food today, they still want more. They've been, what are we? It's about 2:30 now, and they've already had 4 feeds today. But I'll probably get 2 or 3 more before it's bedtime. But, yeah, my little tiny Jinring ones, look, still only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, them two. Bless their little arms. Yeah, when you zoom out and you sort of see the size difference between these tiny little ones little black ones there compared to everyone else. Oh, there's the other little tiny one down there. Bless their little hearts. The thing is though, they're absolutely stunning fish. They're just not growing. They've got great body shapes, no deformities whatsoever, nice scalation patterns, and this little Orchiba here, he's actually got a really nice pattern coming through. So that'll be good to see when it's done. I think that little tiny one there is a chag, I think, but again, good change. And the other little tiny one is another Orchiba. No, that was the one we just looked at. Where's he gone? No, you got that little Orchiba there with a pattern coming through, and then that little Orchiba there with a pattern and a little white spot on his fin. And no, it's not actually white spot. So yeah, there's 3 in there that's tiny. Little chag, 2 little Orchibas, and I suppose that little yellow one's still quite small, but he's a lot bigger than they are. But compared to some of the other ones that are growing fast, like these ones. Anyway, I'm waffling again. Yeah, that's a quick look at the fry. As you can see, the tank is still crystal clear. That's all thanks to the food swap from coming off Copen's Advance and going on to Japan Koi Imports 3 mil pellets. So just goes to show what a good food does, doesn't it? Right, catch you all in a bizzle. Alright guys, as you can see, they're all just starting to float around now. I think they've had enough. It's been about 3.5 hours, so nearly the 4 hours. So, and because I put the PP in before they finished their food, they didn't finish it, so we've dragged that out. Missed a pellet. Missed a couple of pellets apparently. But yeah, just to show you and prove a point, I'm just going to grab them out real quick. They don't want to be eating them now. No, still loads floating around in there. Right, anyway. There's still some more in there. Well, they'll have to stay in there for now. But yeah, anyway. I just wanted to show you that you don't need hydrogen peroxide, especially if you're one of these people that use sodium thiosulfate. Now, people always ask me, what dose do I put in? Well, I don't know is the answer to that question. I start off by just putting a small amount in and waiting 5-10 minutes. And as you can see, the water's still relatively purple. It's just, I suppose, on the turn to going brown now, but I've just put in, as you just saw, probably about 20 ml of sodium thiosulfate. I'll pause the video here for a minute and I'll just let that go round and see what it looks like then. So I'll catch you in a second. So there we go, that's been a couple of minutes and that mixture's all gone round. As you can see now, it's no longer purple, we're now brown, and the fish have all started swimming around all happy again. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a double dose. I'll put about another 20 ml in. And if you get the right quantity, the water should go back to being clear almost instantly. Hello fishy. But yeah, obviously because I'm using sodium thiosulfate to neutralise the PP, that does mean though that I won't be able to do the fluke treatment tomorrow because there's going to be sodium thiosulfate in the water still. So a little bit more again, it's starting to clear now. So yeah, pretty much the same as the PP, in bit by bit until I'm happy with the colour basically. You can clearly see obviously it's not purple anymore. It's a light shade of brown. But yeah, I've actually still got some PP in here that I'm going to now need to dispose of. I didn't use it all. he says. There is some in there. There you go. There is still some in there, so dispose of that. Yeah. It's still not clear, but it's clearing up. I know they always say you can't overdose with thiosulfate, but still, I like to just get the right amount if I can. Dribble by dribble. Yeah, I mean it's completely neutralised now anyway, so I may just leave it like that. Unless I put in, the quicker I can do the fluke treatment. But yeah, as you can see, they're no longer floating around at the surface now anyway. And certainly not a problem with oxygen going in there. You can see down that side I've got a lovely jacuzzi with all the air balls, but you can see there that that's no longer purple. In fact, that's quite clear down that side, so it might start to clear up this side in a minute, because there's a natural flow going round that way, because obviously the pressure filter goes into the upflow filter, down a trickle filter and through the last stage of the backy shower, but the old fish tank filter comes in here and is just pushing along the surface there to create a flow, which is why you can see the bubbles sort of, going round in a circle. Yeah, I think one more little splash and some of that. I need to make another batch anyway. There's only a trickle left in there anyway. There we go. But yeah, that's, as I say, completely neutralised. It's clearing up quite nicely, so they'll be all hunky-dory now. Look happy as Larry now. That's been neutralised. So I just thought I'd show you that you don't need hydrogen peroxide if you can't get hold of any and you've got sodium thiosulfate in your fish cupboard, then that works an absolute treat to neutralise PP. Yeah, if I had a bit more left in this bottle, then I would have done it until it cleared up for you, but I don't. But they'll be absolutely fine like that. That'll clear within about 20 minutes, half an hour. So that's that all done. Right, well, we're still at the same position with the pond at the minute, but hopefully if the weather's good I'll get the liner in tomorrow, as tomorrow is a day off. But these fishes are all doing good still, chugging along. Right, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Just thought I'd give you one more quick look, guys, just before I close it up for the night. Well, as I've chucked in a load of sodium thiosulfate to do a neutralisation of the PP, I may as well give it a water change. So just dropped it, as you can see, by about what, 1.5 inches, 2 inches maybe, and now just topping it up. The water is still a bit brown, but as you can see there's no fishies on the top. They're all happy as Larry. So just let this top back up. It's getting a bit cold out here now, so I'll make sure I cover these guys up properly for the night. And yeah, we'll see them all bright and early in the morning when it's gone crystal clear. I couldn't be bothered to make up another batch of sodium thiosulfate. I mean, they're fine in there now. The water's all brown. I mean, all the bubbles have all gone as well. Well, nearly. So there's no more PP in there doing them any harm. So let them chill out for the night. Just about 5 a litre. Oh, it's a bit nippy. Right then, guys, that's the fish all retreated. Well, PP'd. Obviously, I've got to wait for the sodium thiosulfate to disperse from the water, and then I'll get the second dose of fluke treatment in. Going to go for the old Lennox Pro, and that should nuke any that's left. I haven't re-scraped yet, but I've always done 2 doses of fluke treatment, so I'll get that in and then wait 7 days and then do a re-scrape and see if we need to do any further treatments. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll see you all again on the next one. Catch you later.